Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Build a House, where we are building a nocturnal house since about 6 or 7 weeks right now. Today is going to be episode number 7, where we are going to build the center habitat that is also the biggest habitat here in our nocturnal house. But let's have a look at what we've done in the episode before, where we built this nice habitat for the cute little quokka. That's not so cute in real life, but I guess you guys know about that. I think I might have told you about it, at least in my German series, but I'm going to repeat it in the English series as well. The quokkas are not that nice. They are always smiling and seem to be always very happy, but in reality, they are mean little creatures. Yeah, because the quokkas, when they get hunted by, let's say, a dingo or something else that wants to eat them, and when the females do carry babies in their pouch, they throw out the baby so that the predator can eat the baby and the adult one can escape. Seems to be a little bit, not just a little bit, seems to be very cruel, but when you think about it, it is also pretty clever, because they can easily get a new baby, but if you kill the female, the adult one, also the baby in the pouch would be dead, because it couldn't survive without his mother. So, cruel but clever, I guess. Yeah, so that's about that. But enough of the quokkas, let's see what we are going to do in today's episode. I told you already in last week's episode that we are going to take care of the biggest habitat that is going to take place here in our nocturnal house, the center habitat, the round-shaped one that you can see right here, that is going to be for the Aardvark. It's going to be pretty much in the same style that all of the other habitats. I told you, museum kind of vibe and stuff like that. You're going to see that in the end of the video as well, because we're going to have a little tour through everything that I've built so far in here, so that you are able to see what I meant when I was talking about Museum of Natural History. Yeah, natural history it was. So we're going to have a tour. I had to make a few things different for this habitat because of the round shape of it, I couldn't use all the building materials that I have used, or that I did use for the other habitats. Mainly the props on the bottom and between the windows, where the air circulation takes place. You're going to see that in a minute. I was trying to place down these parts, but it just wasn't possible because of the round shape and the way that I built it. It always overlapped in some parts and looked not weird, that's not the correct word, it looked messy. And I wanted this whole build to look as clean as it could, and so I decided, no, we're not going with this. We're using different pieces this time so that everything looks okay and fine and clean, like I want it to look. So there's that. You're going to see that in a minute. What we're also going to do today is something that I promised you in the last episode as well. We are going to place the roof for the left side of the building, so to close it up and see how the whole thing will look once it is finished and totally closed up. Let me tell you this. I had that conversation. Here you can see the pieces that I'm using for the air circulation that I told you. I was talking about this to Gaming Badass, or Herr Badass, how he is called recently, yesterday. We had a look at this building, and I was talking to him about how weird those animal houses do look when I start building them. So yeah, it doesn't look that exciting when I begin to lay out the groundwork and build the first habitat, and yeah, you most of the time you can't tell what it's going to be and how it's going to look, and it's all coming together from episode to episode. And that's something that you are going to see, and that I'm very excited for once this habitat is finished and we put down the roof on the left side. Then you can see how it is all coming together, how the vision of this building is actually coming to life. We are far from being finished, yeah, but we are halfway through, let's say it like that. And yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to see that, and I really want to know what you think of it, and if you see the same vision as I see come to life. Yeah, so, but enough of that. Yeah, just finishing the front of the habitat, and I have to say, this habitat is absolutely my favorite so far. Yeah, because it is because of the round shape of it, it gives you such a nice panoramic view to the whole habitat of the aardvarks. Yeah, I think it is just amazing. I had a little bit of difficulties with the backstage area, because the backstage area is a little bit smaller than the one for the quokkas and all the other animals that are here on the backside of the building. And yeah, the animals can use it, don't get me wrong, they are perfectly fine with it, but I had some difficulties with the space where the keepers drop the animals. So because the space is so small, when the keepers drop the animals, they drop them into the wall. And in the beginning, when the animals were put into the habitat, I thought the animals were stuck in the wall and couldn't move or whatever. But yeah, after a minute or so, they got out of the wall and could walk in the habitat. So everything is fine with that. It's just not exactly how I wanted it to be. Yeah, don't know yet if I'm going to change that. Right now I don't think that I will, because everything is working. Yeah, and that's the main part, because I wouldn't want to have anything in here in this building that's actually not working, like putting animals in the habitat and they are not able to walk from the backstage area into their own habitat, because yeah, I would always have to take care manually about these animals to get into their habitat. So if one of them would get sick, chances would be very high that they get stuck in the backstage area, and I would notice about that, and they wouldn't be able to get to the water supply or whatever, and would starve or whatever, and no. So everything in here has to be working. And I also made sure, and I think I told you that in recent videos or in the videos before, that I always make sure that the animals are comfortable in the habitat, that all their needs are fulfilled. So once this whole house is finished, you are able to download it from the workshop, put it in your zoos, or download the house as a zoo and build from there on, and don't have to worry about the animals because all their needs are fulfilled. I'm not going, as I always don't do, with the needs like plants. That is something that I don't care about at all, because I'm trying to be realistic when I build those habitats. And if we are realistic, you won't see native plants for most of the animals in a zoo, for most of their habitats, just because we don't have those plants here. Those plants won't grow here in our climate because it's too warm, it's too cold, or whatever. And just for that particular reason, I'm not going to fulfill the needs of plants for the animals ever in anything that I'm doing. And that is also not a big problem, even if you play in franchise mode. If you're not looking for a perfect 100% score happiness of your animals, then you are completely fine if you don't fulfill the planting needs of your animals, because it is such a minor percentage of the whole animal needs that, yeah, they don't care about that much. So you can have a nearly perfect score, about 95, 98% maybe, if you don't care about plant needs for your animals. So you're perfectly fine with that. Okay, here you could already see that we do have a slightly smaller backstage area than we do have for the Quokka, or for don't know what it's. I have to have a look what is going to be next to the Aardvark. That's going to be number 4 and number 4. Oh, in the next episode we're going to build for the skunk. Okay, that's pretty cool. Didn't build for them in quite a while. Yeah. Backstage area is quite a bit smaller. I got taken away again by everything that I was telling. Backstage area is going to be quite smaller, or is quite smaller than for the Quokka and for the skunk that is going to be right next to the Aardvark. Yeah, but as I said in the beginning, I don't want to repeat myself. Everything is working quite fine. Animals are able to get into their habitat, and so we don't have to worry about that. And for those of you that haven't seen the rest of this series, or the rest of the episodes here in the nighttime Nocturnal House, Nocturnal, not Nocturnal. Such a thing as a Nocturnal doesn't exist, I think. Yeah, for those of you that haven't seen the rest of the episodes, the reason why I have a small gate into the habitats and also do have a big gate into the habitats is quite simple, because we need our keepers to be able to get into the habitat, not to clean them, because that doesn't matter at all, but to provide the animals with food. So we do have food enrichment items here that our keepers need to fill up, and therefore they have to go into the habitat and be able to reach the food enrichment items. So that is the reason why we do have a big gate for the keepers and the smaller one that only the animals can use. So that's the whole reason behind that. Talking about the animal enrichment items, or the food enrichment items, you have seen that I put down those termite hills. Is it called hills? I don't know, but you know what I mean. These beautiful things. Actually, I'm not quite sure if the Aardvark can use it, because if you look at the food enrichment items for the Aardvark, you won't find this. You will find it for the giant anteater, for example, and some other animals as well. I think the sloth bear can use it as well. Don't know all the other animals that can actually use that, but you won't find it for the aardvark, which is a little bit sad, because aardvarks, the diet of aardvarks consists of termites and ants, and so yeah, I just don't know why they can't use this item, because it is very obviously that it is totally perfect for the aardvark, but yeah, it is what it is. We do have the smaller one that you can see right here. Yeah, the white one. I put that in the habitat as well, so that the animals are actually able to feed off those. Here you can see it. It's not that beautiful, but yeah, they can use it. It will work out for them, and so it is what it is. But as I said, they are not able to use the beautiful termite hill, or whatever it might be called. So the next thing that was a little bit tricky, or where I had to make adjustments, was this here, where I am dividing. I don't think that is the right word, but yeah, where I'm so I'm sorry, I have to Google that, because I know that I know this word. Split, yeah, of course. Was this part where I had to split the habitat, because I had to make that smaller as well. But I had the perfect idea. I was using those concrete pillars to make the split part a little bit yeah, to make it make more sense. So that's what I was doing, and where I could actually put the switch on it, where you could open or close the gate between those two backstage habitats when you want to separate the animals. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I think I told you in the last few episodes that we are going to take care of the backstage area in an episode where actually all those habitats on the backside of the building are finished. So we are going to do that in the episode for the sloth. Yeah, because the next one is going to be the skunk, and after that we are going to take care of the sloth, and maybe of the animal clinic that I wanted to have, where the guests can actually look into, like I did for the feeding kitchen. So we're going to, yeah, that might be a longer episode, because we might take care of the backstage area then as well, and close the building on the backside, so that this part is finished as well, before we are going to take care of the last 3 habitats on the front side of the building, where, and I do have to have a look at my plan once again to tell you which 3 animals are going to be on the front side of the building. So we're going to have the Chinese pangolin, the wombat, which is going to be in the bigger habitat, that is going to be in the same shape as the Tasmanian devil, and we are going to have the armadillo. Yeah, so that's the 3 animals that are going to be on the front side of the building, and then we are finished and taking care of the outside of the building, which I'm very excited for. Yeah, because I told you guys that I'm going for some kind of a scary theme. So yeah, we'll see how that will turn out. Okay, but you can already see that I'm taking care of the roof right now. Nothing special, because we do have a roof, we're just closing it up. There's not going to be lights in here. for the visitor area, because we only do have lights in the habitats for the animals, and we don't want it to be bright outside of the habitats, because our viewers should be able to see the animals, but the animals shouldn't be disturbed by the light outside. So that's the plan. Yeah, here you can already see what I was talking about in the beginning. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? It totally gives me the museum vibe. Yeah, you're going to see that in a few minutes, just laying down the barrier for this habitat. And yeah, creating a little bit of a planter afterwards, to have some decoration on the inside as well. Just something that we did for the Oceania part, just having a little bit of a desert theme, which actually fits pretty well. You can remember the first habitat that we built was for the fennec fox. And right at the opposite is the habitat for the aardvark. So we have the connection for the African animals here. So in the end, everything can and will make sense a little bit, besides of the habitat for the wombat, because it is on the other side of the building, so we don't have any connection to the other Oceania animals. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, as I said, we're going to have a new planter in here with a little bit of a desert African theme that is going to be right here. Just putting in the mulch pieces and then having some rocks and a few plants in here to make the whole thing look a little bit nicer. I was thinking of having some light in here as well, as we do for the Oceania part. Yeah, I might do that in the next episode or at the end of this building, just to see what would make sense and what wouldn't. So yeah. And also the interior for this part might not be finished as well right now, because yeah, we might be going into that once more. Putting some pillars in here for stability reasons. Might also do something with those as well at a later stage, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, and with that being said, we are at the end of today's episode. We're going into the real-time part at night right now. I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. Let me know what you think of this building so far, if you do enjoy it as much as I do, and I hope you tune in next week as well. So if you did enjoy today's episode, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that already, and leave a comment for the video. All of that feeds the algorithm. So thanks for watching and hope to see you next week, guys. Bye!